Deb here, your spiritual cheerleader and mentor. Welcome to Greatest Jesus in Me YouTube channel. And you know what to do. Subscribe now. And friends, today we have a very, very, very special guest. We have retired Major General Brian Cummings. Sir, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Deb, and it's always wonderful to see you again. And I look forward to talking to you today. And thank you so much for letting me join you.
And I thank you for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with our friends. Thank you for your service, bravery, and sacrifice for this country. And I also want to thank your family for their sacrifices. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our veterans and active duty military for their service and thank their families as well. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Deb, and thank you for what you do as well. I appreciate it.
So, sir, we're just going to jump right into this conversation. So can you tell us, why did you join the Army?
So to be honest, I was kind of like most young people. I was more of a wayward soul. I really had no intent to ever join the Army, which is very surprising. I grew up in a military family. I was an Army brat. I moved all around the world with my parents from the day I was born, when he was a young soldier in Germany, to the day he retired after I entered active duty. However, I really had no ambitions to actually ever join the military. It wasn't of interest to me, not because of any reason other than I just thought I was going to take a different path to go do something else. I graduated high school out in the Pacific Northwest, and surprisingly, then moved to Montana after high school. And where I was going to school, there was a lot of National Guard units, and I was in college, and I decided that I just to make a little bit more money and to serve, that I would join the local Guard unit there, working as a medic in one of the VA hospitals near where I was going to school. So I really having much intention at first as a young person to want to join. However, just like you're doing here in your life and the people here on your channel, as you start getting more mature, you start looking for, ways that you'll give back to the world, to give yourself meaning and to help others. So I didn't really find the Army. The Army found me. I really liked doing that. So I started off as an engineering major in college, and then switched to biology, hoping to go into medicine. And then after 2 years up there, I moved to Virginia, and I again stayed in the Guard in Virginia for 2 years. And as I was in ROTC at Old Dominion University, it seemed to appeal to me, and I wanted to actually go do some excitement, for lack of a better way to put it. I had a desire to be an airborne ranger, which I did do. And I decided to go ahead and take an active duty commission and enter active duty in the Army in 1986. Sorry. and then went into the Army. And to answer your question, it was more of the same thing, like I said, for the people that are watching you today and what you do. It's just, I kind of found that I found a lot of common people with same common values about giving to others, contributing, doing things in a manner that were bigger than just yourself, to, for the good of all the people inside your formation. And, it just kind of never left. And every opportunity that came, I stayed in for almost 35 years.
You just said you stayed 35 years. So why did you stay and make it a career? Is that?
So you know me well. I'm a very big people person. I actually enjoyed being responsible for people, because I honestly did truly care about them. I really wanted to take care of everybody, and I tried to every day think about my responsibilities to do that, and I enjoyed it. Not every day was perfect in the 3.5 decades, but I just kept at it and kept enjoying moving to various positions and jobs, and all the things that I did. It was very meaningful to me.
Yeah. And did you think that you'd make it to Major General? And for the public out there, they A lot of people don't know what Major General is. They know about 2 stars. And I know you go through all the different ranks from second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, brigadier general. That's when you go into the general rank, and then major general. So you retired as a 2-star general. Did you ever envision that you would make it this far?
Never in my wildest mind. Never. I mean, there's no single point that and actually I wasn't as ambition wasn't really drove me to get to the highest rank. It just seemed that, every time I looked around, God was blessing me with a new opportunity. And you said, when you have an opportunity where something presents yourself that, wow, I don't think I can't not do this. This is like, who would say I don't want to do it? And I was blessed at every level to get that placed upon me, and I took it. No, I didn't never think I would never be the person that would tell you that that I was better than anybody, anything. Actually, I actually had to work really hard at it. But no, I would have guessed that I would have done. Actually, I never thought I would make to a 20-year career. I thought that I would do my time, find other interests in life, and move on. And sometimes, as I think about, your question, I kind of look at it as, the Army's having trouble getting people to come in right now. And I worry about that. One, for the defense of our nation, but also that they know that this is a place that, you can belong and be part of something. And I always felt that way. And so I was just blessed by God that, I got to the retirement and I just kept at it and just decided to keep going. And I'm very glad I did. It was very rewarding.
Well, we're glad that you did. That's the conversation we're going to get into now about your leadership style. But before we even start that, I'd like to say a few words. Thou, you were extremely busy, because you were very busy. Whenever you were in the office, you would stop by the offices and cubicles to say hello, ask how you're doing, and chit chat with all of us. Whenever you saw us in the hallway, you were always pleasant with a smile and acknowledged us. You genuinely cared for your team and showed it, and we felt it. And that made us feel appreciated and special. These small gestures made a positive difference in the work environment and boosted morale. And I want to really thank you for that. And I know I'm talking on behalf of other people. You just don't know. You made it a joy for us to go to work, and especially when you were around. And just a small gesture. So we really thank you for that, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Deb, and I appreciate your kind comments. Thank you.
Yeah. And so let's talk about your leadership style.
Okay. So a lot of people ask, like at the senior levels, what are the most important things we do? And you can get all the books. You can go to Barnes and Nobles and read them. You can read Army FM manuals and read about it. And it's always a constant perplexing of, what should you do? So I remind everybody, your number one role as a leader is to create a wonderful operational environment that everybody will be respected, cared for, and feel comfortable, and set an environment that they're welcome to say what's on their mind, to talk, and then realize that they're cared for. They don't have to feel like they're being judged all the time, or that you're gonna belittle them or something like that. It provides really no value at all to do it. It doesn't. And so I've tried very hard to. I have 14 attributes that I try to live by, and I measure myself on them constantly if I'm measuring up to the things that I should be. So when you create that environment, it's important for everybody to be able to feel it. And then you gotta, as I tell people, you gotta learn on how you have people be able to feel the effect of how you do that. So otherwise it's just words that you put on a chart or things that you say. Because if you say that people are your number one priority and you don't have any way of implementing it, well, it isn't felt anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to be remembered by people, and you just don't want to be a picture that's up on the wall for the next people to see and walk down, and just go out and whatever that I remember. But if you want to be able to strive to being when someone says your last name, that people all turn around. And not because they're afraid of you or anything like that, that they go, oh my goodness, he or she was just so fantastic, that I remember that I always felt cared for and I felt valued and I never felt uncomfortable, because that's the worst environment you could be. And it's not hard to do. I tell people that we do things every day when we wake up and don't even think about it because we were told that's what we're supposed to do. It's as simple as you have a meeting that you go to, part of the environment. And you have, the typical general comes in, people stand up, 45 to 50 people sit down, everybody's quiet. And then you sit there and then, automatically the one person, as starts going into the charts and briefing, and nobody enjoys it, right? Nobody enjoys it at all.
You're right.
So instead, the best thing to always do, and if you remember, I always push the charts to the side. And normally what you do is you look into the back of the room, and you're very careful when you do it. And you look back and you just go, you go, Deb, how are you doing today? And you're not the person at the front of the table. Matter of fact, you've been told probably that you're not going to speak at all. Okay. Because even if you're addressed to, you're going to go, oh my God, I'm on notice now. What am I do? And your security blanket starts to fall apart. But then again, the only thing you got to do is just ask, hey, how was your church last week when you went? Well, guess what? Deb can't mess that question up. Because you know what? No one else knows the answer in the room. Okay. And you don't feel all like, I don't know what to say and all that kind of stuff. And you can just respond back. And the whole room just starts to look, oh man, the old man's he's just asking these questions. He won't let the meeting begin. But once the environment is felt that, hey, everybody's treated nicely here. Okay. And everybody's valued. And I can speak up. And when my moment is, I can bring something up. I know you do not sit there and chastise someone else. It just doesn't provide any value. And you respect one another. And you create an environment where everybody feels like they really want to tell you what's going on and try to help you, because now they're at a level now of, I won't let you down, sir or ma'am. I'm going to help you. And so when I know I need to tell you something, I'm going to do it. I know that I'm going to be okay by it. And those are the kind of things as far as the style. And then, the other thing to remember is that no one will ever remember anything about you unless you at some moment took the time to make an impact on their life. And it doesn't take much. They can be in a hallway just saying, how are you doing today? Okay. Or, hey, look, I heard last week you had a bad week. What's going on? Okay. Can I help you? And not just the boilerplate, like, can I really help you?
Yes.
Okay. And then have that person go, I know I can talk to this person. I can share back because that's what's expected of me, because I know that he or she cares for me. And those moments only come when you make an impact on someone's life, just like your faith does with God. Okay. That has to either enrich you or it just wouldn't be. You wouldn't fall back on it. And so then as you grow and become a leader, you can be 3 different levels. You can be in the lowest level, believe it or not, it's just, I respect him. That's the lowest, believe it or not. Because that's all saying that, oh, I know that your rank, I know your rank, I know your position, so I respect you for that. And then the next level up above that is, I trust you. I've seen him or her, they seem to do the right thing. They respond back and make good decisions. But that's not even at the pinnacle. It goes back to what's most important to you and why you're here with your followers, is that it's about being a faith-based leader, that no matter what he or she does, somehow I have an unbelievable faith that they just don't do anything wrong on purpose. And that they'll, even at their own detriment to themselves, will try to make the best decision they possibly can for the better of everybody, even against their own wishes. So you have to work at making sure people can feel that, and you have to do it every day. And I constantly tried to, in my staff, would keep 20% of my schedule to know that I truly cherished walking around. And that was my favorite thing to do.
Yes, you sure did.
And you have to get, and it takes a little bit of work. I mean, because people naturally don't want to put themselves out there. But when everybody feels comfortable with you doing it, they'll look forward to you coming around.
Oh,
they
yeah.
won't. If I heard the general, I'm glad, because when I hear a general is walking around, I'd be like, I'm out of here. I don't want to be anywhere around this place, because I'm going to get asked a question and I'm going to spend my whole weekend thinking about, I got the answer wrong. Well, that's not how we're supposed to live our lives. Okay. We're not supposed to be that way. Okay. And so you need to, and I would tell the people in some of the classes I'd give, and some I still give to this day, and some of the courses I'm teaching, the young people will get, how do I get noticed by senior people and all that? It's like, oh my God, don't waste your time. I said, we're older now. We're going to be retired before we matter for you. And I would tell them, get up from your cubicle and go walk over to a person that you never talked before. And then they say, well, how do I do that? I said, just look inside their cubicle, just like yourself. Just look behind you. I can pick 5 or 6 things that are behind you right now that we can talk about, and you'll enjoy talking about it because you can't get it wrong. And it's something you valued. Otherwise, you wouldn't have it behind you. So the picture of the dog in the cubicle, or the baby, or the family, that person can talk to you for an hour. And I would tell them, go talk to that. And then go across the room and talk to another person you haven't talked to. And then when you get really brave, go to another building, go to another floor. And then sooner or later, you won't even realize it, but there'll be a meeting somewhere on the military base where someone will say, have you heard about Deb? And everybody will go, oh yeah, I've met her. And the whole room go, what the hell? How does everybody know one individual? Well, you took the time to do the walking around and getting to know everybody and being aware of the environment you're in. And then you're always getting used to yourself on how you communicate with people. And it's about listening with your 2 ears that God gave you, and He only gave you 1 mouth. Okay, so you should be listening more than speaking. That's what it's all about.
Let me tell you, and it paid off because you left such a lasting impression. I still hear people, and I'm one of those people, so we talk about you. We talk about General Cummings. We're like, oh boy, you walked around, you made us feel so valuable. And it wasn't no big thing. It wasn't no big flair. It's just you passing by and you say, hey, how you doing? And with a smile, it made such a difference. And did you know the impact you were making in the workforce?
You can measure how you're resonating with how comfortable people are about when you come around by they're not stiff, cold, or trying to be anywhere else in the world except for with you. Okay.
Yes. And trying to avoid.
Oh yeah. And I don't blame them. I mean, because I've been there. I know that. I would be like, oh my God, I always want to be prepared, because we've always been taught if you miss the question or you get it wrong, you failed today. You didn't do well. And that's why a lot of times people will, when you see these PowerPoint charts, they put all the information in there. You know what? Usually it's because of our own self-insecurities that I have to have all the information on that chart, because if I'm asked or they want to see it, that it has to be there. Okay. And that's why commonly I would try to practice, unless it's a schedule or a money chart or something, to take the charts, turn it around and look down and talk to somebody and let people get used to communicating the way they're supposed to be communicating. And then when they get to the chart, refer to it, but look back at the person when they're talking. I've found by doing that with people, they became more clear at explaining things to me than to make me expected to get it by looking up at the chart. And then also I was being benevolent to them too, making sure they knew how to talk back to folks. So when they were in front of a person not like me, that they would know how to be able to communicate better. And because instead, what I find a lot of people, they go into jargon talk in front of a person that doesn't speak it. They're getting all the answers right and they're comfortable doing it, but it's not being resonated by the person receiving it because it's just too difficult to understand. So.
But sir, these are just great leadership tips for everyone at every level. Because I look at you and I've always been so impressed with the way how you carried yourself with so much grace, poise, and everybody respected you. You are what I call leadership at its best. Honestly speaking, I'm not saying it because you're saying that because you're here, but really.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the time.
We appreciate everything you did for us during your time. Being our leader. And when we say leader, a true leader, that's what we call you. So we really appreciate you, sir. And do you have any tips or advice for people who may be considering joining the military or active duty service members?
Yes, I'd say that first reach out to your family members or those that have served to get good advice for lots of reasons. One, so that you go into the right profession into the Army or what you may be interested in. There's a lot of different occupations in the military, just about the same as we're in the big world that's out there. And if whether or not you want to be working in medical, taking care of people, whether you want to ride around in a tank, if you want to be a nurse, a doctor, kind of think through exactly what you'd want to go do at. And then the second thing, of course, is study to make sure that the Army is the right place for you. But if you're looking for a place where, and of course, we have our challenges in some cases, but the Army is a good place for you to really continue to develop a good value system about what's important about life, about serving with others, about caring for others. And if you truly feel that inside, it's a great place for you to be. It just is. And, when if you've never served or taken care of somebody or been loyal to others for helping them out, you'll never look back on your life and say, hey, it was just great. I made a lot of money. I mean, it's just senseless. Granted, you need to pay your bills, you need to take care of your children and your family and all that, but you won't look back and say, I made it because I just put all that money in the bank. It doesn't do it. Okay. And it's the same as it reciprocates with what I said about how if you don't make a difference and touch somebody else's life or something you do for them, then your heart will never be fulfilled either because you won't feel that in return. There's a reason why when we wake up on Christmas Day and we see so much joy in the things that you gave to others and not getting for yourself. Actually, it's just horrible. There's nothing better than helping someone else's life. And every day, at every moment, no matter where you see somebody or don't see somebody, you be kind. And the Army needs more great people like that. And they can provide value and leadership for all those men in uniform. We don't have good people leading them, then we'll run out of them, and they need to consider about coming into the Army for the service.
Well, I appreciate those words because one of the things you did mention at the beginning is that the Army is having a hard time recruiting people.
Yes, they are.
And hopefully with your words, people will think about it. As you say, it's not for everybody.
No, it's not for everybody, but it's okay. You can find your purpose in giving and helping others in so many different ways. You don't have to have a uniform on to do it.
Yes. Well, sir, thank you so much for being my special guest on Greater is Jesus in Me YouTube channel.
I love being on this so much, Deb, and I appreciate what you're doing for the world, okay? And projecting all the love that you're doing to everybody on your channel. And I really appreciate your time today, and God bless you.
God bless you too, sir.
Okay.
So friends, remember to go to Greatest Jesus in Me YouTube channel. And you know what to do. Subscribe now. Be blessed. And until next time.